Hey everybody. All right, this is my first comparison video between the Q3 and the Fuji X100VI. All right, so I had the Q3, for about 6 months. So I used to have the Q2 monochrome. The Q2 monochrome had just a built-in screen, kind of like this, really slick. It looked really beautiful. So when this came out, everyone's complaining, oh, the screen's all bulky and blah, blah, blah. And, when I first got it, and I was like, yeah, it does look kind of bulky. I guess they could have done a better version of, recessing it. I mean, look at this. For looks, the Fuji wins. Look at that. Look how slim, streamlined that is. That's fabulous. Okay. But when you start using the camera, you realize this is actually very, very well made how they did this. And this is the reason. Okay. You got to remember, I shoot events. It's all about speed for me, what I'm doing. And I'm shooting events to where if I'm shooting like burlesque show or pole show and I'm in front of the stage, performers dancing, then they drop to the floor, I may want to raise the camera above my head, or I may need to drop down to lower the camera to be eye level with them. So I can't use the viewfinder. I got to use a screen. That's another plus of this. This is a plus of going from the Q2 to the Q3, or I'm sorry, going from the Q3 to the Q2 is having this screen. Now, what's great, what Leica did, which is kind of shocking that Leica did it, because, Leica and their software isn't advanced as everyone else's, but this is so great that it does this. I'm not sure Sony's might do this also. I can't remember. Okay, so I'm shooting through the viewfinder, then I want to use a screen. As soon as I pop the screen out, boom, it's ready to go. Now, I don't use the LCD screens for anything. I don't like using the LCD screen, so I have it all turned off. I just like shooting. I hate the LCD screens for touch control of that. So even though I have everything turned off on the LCD screens, if I'm shooting, as soon as I pop it out, the camera realizes, oh, if you're going to pop it out, you must want to use it. Very fast. Very fast. So notice how, I want to use a screen. It's ready for me to shoot and use. With the Fuji, pop the screen out, stays blank because I don't have it on the viewfinder. So what you got to do is you got to program the screen to a button. And it's the biggest pain. So if I want to use a screen, I've got to get the button. Turn the camera back on. Okay, now I can use a screen. Then I can pop it out. That's just a massive pain. And once again, if you're not shooting events, it may not be a big deal. But I'm shooting events where I got to shoot fast. Okay, so me having to turn this screen on to work as opposed to it's ready to go. It's ready to go. The Leica totally destroys the Fuji. I mean, you don't understand how big of a deal that is, that you don't have to keep hitting this button to get the LCD to turn on. Another thing that I was surprised until, I was shooting with this. So if I want to raise the camera, so I need to pull the screen down, since this is why it's a little bulky, but there's a groove in here. So all I do is, boom, pop it down very easily. Or if I drop down and want to shoot from the waist or even lower, I just pop this out very easily, okay? With the Fuji, see how flush it is and nice it is? You can't do that. So with the Fuji, if I want to shoot from the top, not only do I got to hit this stupid button to turn the screen on, then I got to pop it out, then I got to turn it down to shoot this way. So it just takes longer, and once again, if you're just shooting trees or anything static, you don't care. But if you're shooting event stuff, that takes time to grab shots, and you're shooting fast event stuff, having to do this and do this is not as fast as, look at that, go. So if you need to use a screen, and remember, I don't use a screen a lot. I always shoot through the viewfinder, but when I do need the screen, I need it to work fast. Honestly, and the quality of the screen is better on the Q3. So forget the quality of the screens, just the functionality of the screen. Fuji could at least turn the thing on through some software update or firmware update, whatever you want to call it. But until they do that, I'm telling you, the Q3 that's a huge advantage if you're shooting events or you need the screen to come on if you're flip between them automatically. I mean, look at that. Look how fast that is. This thing is you got to mess around with this button, and then you got to pop it out and pop it down. So Leica Q3, at least for the LCD screen, big winner. Now, if you want to talk about it, the viewfinder, I'm not going to stick this up to here. The viewfinder is much better in here than this one. Much better. So let's talk about, so the viewfinder, electronic viewfinder, and the LCD screen, you got a big win of the Q3 over the Fuji. But if you need the optical, then of course you're gonna win because this has the optical where this doesn't. But I gotta be honest with you, I very, very rarely ever use the optical viewfinder. In all of the Fujis I've had, I've very rarely used it. Very, very rarely. So for me, I could live without an optical viewfinder. I'm fine with that. So there you go. So that's one little thing if you're thinking about, which is very, very important that no one ever really talks about, is the fact the Leica, if you have everything turned off on the Leica for the screen, it still is smart enough to turn on when you pop it open if you're shooting. And it's very quick to pull it, down or up. This is a pain. You got to map it to a button, which just sucks. All right. Hope that helps somebody. Bye.